The endgame that I want to show this time is an endgame that was played yesterday in the Grandmaster tournament in Switzerland, Biel. The white pieces are played by Magnus Carlsen, and he's playing against Alexander Onischuk with black. And the beautiful thing about this ending is that Magnus Carlsen finds a very tactical way to win this game. As we see right now, white has one pawn more. He has pawn majority on the queen side. So the plan of white will be to advance these two pawns. And the first move that Magnus plays here is the knight to a6. Of course, looking at the square b4. So the idea of this move is to play b4 and then a4. So black replied bishop to f8, guarding the square b4, and here came a very surprising move that Magnus did. It's very unexpected. He plays b4 anyway, right now. He's actually giving the pawn away, but there is an idea behind it that's quite deep, but it will become clear in a moment. Black took the pawn on b4, and then Magnus played a2, a4, attacking the rook. And now we already start seeing the idea. This rook can only go to b7, to b7 right there, because all the other squares are attacked by the knights, and the rook must keep defending the bishop on b4. So rook b7 is the only move. And now white would like to put a rook on the b file to attack the bishop once more. But the problem right now is that the square b1 is guarded by the knight on c3. So first Magnus played his rook to c1, attacking the knight, and of course threatening to take the bishop, and after the rook retakes, then take the knight. That's the direct threat. So this knight must go away. It goes to d5, and now the field square b1 is free, so the rook is placed over there. Now we see that this bishop is pinned. Black cannot move this bishop because then the rook will be hanging. So black tried here to search for some counterplay on the other side by playing f5. Magnus Carlsen played a5, taking away the square b6 for the rook. The idea is that by moving a5, the pawn is guarding this square, so this knight can move and still the square b6 will be taken. Black played king to g7, and then the knight goes to e5. The plan of white is to move the knight to c6 to attack this bishop once more. Then it will be attacked by the knight, by the rook, and by this other knight that goes to c6. So it will be attacked 3 times and only defended 2 times by the rook and the knight. And because it is pinned, it will not be able to go away. So this threat, knight to c6, is very dangerous. Black continued with the f4, and now there is a little exchange here. Take, e3, take, check. The king goes to g1, and the knight must return to d6 to defend the b4 bishop. And right now, of course, white cannot play knight to c6 immediately, because if we would do that, then bishop to c5 check would be terrible, because the rook on b1 is undefended. So this is not possible right now, and that is why in this position white did not play a knight to c6, but first patiently king to h1 to put the bishop of the king away from that diagonal. Now after rook b5, the predicted move, knight to c6 was played, and here Onischuk resigned because he's losing the bishop on b4. And this is actually the tactical way how Magnus Carlsen won this endgame.